pounder, 10-5, man. Watch the Goodfellas Sports TV, bro.
You guys come from Walker, Wisconsin. Watch
Goodfellas Sports.
Goodfellas Sports.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out.
All right, Keith Thurman explains why the Errol Spence fight never happened in a way. And also, he exposes Errol Spence for capping. Stop capping in my blue-faced voice. But let's talk about it. Check out the welterweight boxing playlist, Boxing News playlist. Appreciate the love and support. Don't forget to share the videos, man. Once again, thank Vinny for donating to the channel. If you want to donate to the channel, several ways you could donate. Financially, Cash App, CJ Good 313 in the description. PayPal link in the description as well, too. Other best way to donate. Thumbs up the video, great way. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share the video, all great ways to donate. Check my other channel out, Motor City Sports Talk, right here on YouTube. Other than that, appreciate it, man. But yeah, we got a manuscript. We did the interview with Fight Hype. Nestor got the interview. He worked for Fight Hype for giving interviews. Hopefully they paying him well. Keith says Spence Mayweather conspired against him. He says when he spoke to Spence and got the W that night against Philo Greco in 2015, I think it was on the Sean Porter Broner undercard. Lil Birdie named Floyd told him to say my name, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, and Fight Hype about his problem with Spence first started. Why? There are multiple reports why fighters in his position at the time would call a fighter that is already in the limelight. So what was it really about? It was changing the change of the narrative right now. We're talking about narrative of Keith Thurman and EJ and what all happened before Thurman and EJ. What was Thurman narrative? Well, I could tell you that, man. Thurman narrative at that point, I'm going to interject in between. I'm not going to just talk all at once. I'm going to interject, so I have to kind of keep going back and forth and seeing if I forgot something. But the narrative was him fighting Paulo Malignaggi, him fighting Adrian Broner, him fighting the champions of the division. You know, he fought, can't forget the dude's name. The dude, pull it up, man. Carlos Katana was the guy. He fought Carlos Katana, and really the narrative for that was, for Keith Thurman, was titles. Paulo Malignaggi was WBA champion. Floyd, Pacquiao was there. It was champions and names and stuff of that nature, man. And Amir Khan, them calling him out in the concourse, and you know, people want to Keith Thurman was everybody's new favorite welterweight coming up. All right, everybody fought Keith Thurman because he was blowing that fire, and eventually that fire turned to, you know, wind. Same thing with Errol Spence, right? But he said, I was on Floyd back when I fought Diego Chavez. I became the interim WBA champion. My mandatory would have been Floyd. So when Errol Spence first said my name, it wasn't you. It was someone else, Mayweather, that told you to do it. Why didn't you call out Mayweather? He was still a top and active fighter. I thought it was very reflective. The boy Errol Spence was only 16-0, and I always thought there would be a good fight one day in the future. He went on, quote. But why would I look down at Spence when I was trying to get Floyd fight back then? I was trying to get Pacquiao fight back then when I was 26 years old. Instead, I had to take what was coming to me, which was Robert the Ghost Guerrero and all these other fights. Thurman said, back then, many boxing fans, well, this wasn't him, but they said, believe Mayweather planted the idea in Spence's head to call out Thurman. Yes, that was a thing. Everybody know that. Before Errol Spence, or if Floyd told him to do that, which Floyd would do some whole shit because he don't want to fight black fighters, but we'd get there. Before that, wasn't nobody calling for Errol Spence and Thurman. None of them. None of the what would become the LDBC. Nobody was 16-0. Nobody was saying, well, Errol should fight Thurman. Nobody. It was more, well, at the time, maybe a little bit after time, but it was more of, oh, he could beat Floyd Mayweather. He beat him up in the gym. That was kind of starting to come out, you know, that's kind of what it was. Floyd started the Errol versus Thurman thing, the narrative. You know, remember that's around the time he was hanging with Errol, and there's the Mayweather gym, and remember he told him how to beat you just stick and move. I forgot who was the dude he said how to beat. I forget who they was talking about. Maybe Manny Pacquiao. You know, that's kind of when Floyd and Errol was buddies and kind of hanging out more. Remember, he said, get the hell out of my gym. Get out of my gym. Leonard, get out of my gym. Remember he threw him out the gym because he beat him up too bad. But But then they became close. They got in Floyd head and all of that stuff. And, you know, that's what it was. And I think right around that, after that time, remember Mayweather Gym was the hot spot. Y'all boy Dante Boxing used to go on and get the interviews in there all the time. That was right around the time he had planted that seed and keep Thurman. But let's keep going on. Okay. One time wanted Spence to fight the marinate, which I don't like that. He said, so Spence, this quote, Spence went through the trenches and ended up getting the IBF from Kell Brook, Thurman competed. I saw him as the real champion as he was. He deserved it. And I had a tremendous performance. He had a tremendous performance. Quote, we need fighters like Errol Spence to fight fighters like Thurman. We need that. But we also need people to know the type of fight it is when it is. Hold on, break my neck. Here we go. If you do that, Thurman and Spence early, people aren't going to fully understand the magnitude of the fight. My whole objective was me versus Pacquiao, then Thurman versus Spence. Do you think if Pacquiao got defeated, Spence would be fighting Pacquiao at this moment? No, he wouldn't. Quote, no, he wouldn't. He's fighting Pacquiao at the moment. So that falls back on me. That's my mistake. I allowed the door to open. We don't need Thurman. Quote, if that's how Spence wants to go about the welterweight division, so be it. I ain't never got a phone call once in my life to fight Errol Spence. And we got the same manager, Thurman said. So, yeah, he said that Spence, he said he called him out, but they got the same manager. He never wanted to, he never sent the call in to fight Thurman. Okay, he never asked for Thurman. He said he never got the phone call to fight, that Spence wanted to fight Thurman. Okay, we say that for it again. Okay, Spence never called out Thurman. So don't act like you called me out. You never called me out, said Thurman. That's what I don't appreciate, because when Thurman wanted Porter, Kenny Porter got a call. And what did Kenny Porter say? Not now. And then he came later. Thurman got a phone call. Kenny said, Sean, want to fight you now? You bet, run it, because I wanted them before. Anyways, run it. I got a phone call. That moment Floyd retired, the WC got vacated. And Danny Garcia moved up to welterweight to fight Robert Guerrero for the vacant title. Danny beat Guerrero, and I told Al, I want that boy Danny Garcia at 47. There were a few people at 47 that I never got a phone call in my career, said Thurman. I've never got a phone call to fight Adrian Broner in my whole career. I never got a phone call back in the day when I was interested in this to fight Amir Khan. I never got a call to fight Errol Spence. Thurman said, although Spence has talked recently about not wanting to fight Thurman, you know, he went into that, quote, Errol following and keep shadow. But I thought I was going to fight EJ in 2020, said Thurman. The whole goal was to beat Pacquiao, get a hand surgery, and then go right after Errol Spence. Quote, why? Because I will be unifying the titles. I move that they're doing the right thing now. But the move I had intended the whole time, all of a sudden, it's not making me the move. So EJ can say what he wants. I think a whole bunch of nonsense. How do you fight Sean Porter? And how do you fight Danny? How do you fight Pacquiao? How do you fight Leonard Bundu? You want to fight everybody that's seen me, and you don't want to fight me. I'm not following your shadow, he said. Errol Spence is fighting in my shadow. I'm not fighting in his shadow, because if I were fighting his shadow, I'd be on his tail right behind him. Quote, this is all quotes. All I know is when somebody wants somebody, I want somebody. I don't think Spence really wants it, said Thurman. It makes it clear that Spence is and has been afraid of him, said Thurman. And he right. And he said fighters Spence has and will fight the Thurman previously fought. Bundu, Porter, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao. He went on. Thurman may follow Spence to 54. When you really want something in your heart, and as a warrior, when you really want something, this is a quote by Thurman, you really want something, I want to see it, Thurman said. I just don't want to see it for no reason in no stage early in Thurman and Spence's career before they became known with no payday. I didn't want to see that. I didn't mean, this is a quote, I didn't want to see it. I want to see it. It's chess player. I wanted to get it where it lined up in real class and big money maker. Quote, I think we can still make it happen unless he wants to make this fight with Pacquiao, unify, salute, and jump out the division. That's we telling him. That's basically saying he knows what's going on. He basically saying that he's not gonna fight Bud. If he jumps out the division, quote, he ain't on Thurman. It's on him. Maybe I follow him. Maybe I just tell him I follow you wherever you go. Why? Because I seek the truth these days. I'm a truth seeker. I seek the truth. When I fought Sean had more credentials than Errol. When I fought Danny had more credentials. What did I really do? I fought the best fighters at the time. Now, see, Spence proved by staying the course by doing what he said he is, the truth, that he's here. He's here to see everybody. But why don't you want to see me no more, Thurman said. You know, and that's my thing. You know, when you had dudes talking crap back in the day and give you the runaround, you think Errol Pryor would have said, oh, I don't want to fight Sugar Ray Leonard. He gave me a runaround. He got me up here on stage and embarrassed me. No. He would say, I want to fight him for embarrassing me. I want to beat him up. He said Errol never asked Al for the fight. Remember Errol said to Fred the other day when he did an interview a couple weeks ago, he said that he finally gonna ask Al for the Terrence fight. He's a fraud. I've been telling. Kenny Porter said this shit. Remember I'm broke Kenny. I was in Cleveland at the time, and he said that, you know, basically Errol is a manufactured fighter. They move him, and he right. At the end of the day, why wouldn't you want to fight somebody that made you a clown? Especially if you're not gonna fight Terrence. The next best thing to fight Thurman. Errol Spence never wanted these fights. I'm telling y'all, he didn't want to. He would have fought Thurman, he had the title, but why would you want to cream Thurman? Even if he weak and old. You going to go out with a Shine rematch and then, ooh, guys, somebody want to see that. If you fight Terrence, cool. I don't give a fuck about Keith. But if he don't fight Terrence, he need to fight Keith. Unless he going to move up, and I'm fine with that. But why don't he want to fight Keith? Why don't he want to fight Terrence? I'll tell you why they both got perpetual slick movement. Name me somebody that's been that other than Sean Porter. Sean Porter been slick, I'll give him that. But you talking about a boxing technician, somebody that's gonna stick and move and make you pay. He don't want to fight. I'm telling y'all, if he don't want to fight Thurman and Terrence Crawford, they probably not gonna put him in there with the dangerous guys at 54. You know, and at the end of the day, man, when Keith said he never asked for the fight, I don't think Keith lying. Why he never asked Al for the fight? You know, and why he let Floyd hype him up? That's my thing. Why he let Floyd get in his ear and hype him up? You know, and that's the truth. Nobody was asking for Keith and Errol at the time. He let Floyd hype him up. Then he gonna go on camera and say, "Floyd, I never knew Floyd to be my boss. You knew Floyd was your boss. Stop it." Come on, this man don't want to fight in certain style. You know, and I was thinking like, this shit just propaganda. But he said this man never asked me for the fight. Why you pump faking? Why you pump faking? Al got, if y'all see the contracts that they signed, Al Heyman has the right. They can't do nothing without Al Heyman signing off on it. Come on, man, this man going around saying, he ducking me, but you never sent this man a former offer. Y'all got the same manager. To me, that's wild, bro. To me, that's wild. To me, that's cap. Capping. Then you don't want to fight Terrence, and like I said before, it's wild to me, bro. You sitting around here publicly calling somebody out that you ain't never sent an offer or inquire about. Like, Al, can I fight Errol? And I'll be like, no. But let me ask. Al, can I fight? Terrence. Keith. Let me ask about him. And had Keith never said, had Errol never said he finally gonna ask for the Thurman, for the Terrence fight, I wouldn't have thought much of it. This supposed to be y'all Terminator. This supposed to be y'all GOAT. Fuck out of here. This dude is don't want to fight nobody. And that's wild. Why not? No, but hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media links in the description. Twitter's the fastest way than Facebook and Instagram. We also got a Facebook group. All our social media links in the description. You want to make a financial donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate. Share the video. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. And don't forget to check my other channel, Mercy Sports Talk, right here on YouTube. Peace.
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't looking. No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't looking at him.
All right, appreciate everybody for supporting the channel, man. Everybody that been here since day one. But if you want to continue to support the channel, you want to continue seeing me go to these fights, man, I appreciate if you do donate to the channel. Now you have several ways to donate, and you can like the channel, you can share the channel, you can subscribe to the channel. Most of you guys do that on everything, but financially, if I'm gonna go to Wilder Fury, Spence, Pacquiao, and all the big fights. And I'm only entertaining going to the big. I'm only interested in going to the big fights. I'm gonna need you guys' support. You can reach me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anytime for any advice, or you want to advertise your business on the channel. It's another way you help support the channel. I do want to work with businesses and all that. But if you want to make a donation, Cash App is CJGood313. That's in the description. PayPal link is in the description as well too. Appreciate it. Peace.